This meeting marks a personal milestone for me. Although I hope to continue to address you in the coming years too, as chairman of your company, today is the last time I am addressing you in the joint capacity of chairman and chief executive officer of ITC. It is therefore natural at this juncture to reflect on the years gone by. It is also my intention to give you a glimpse of the future direction of your company and a sense of its sinews that are in the process of being shaped that will lend it an abiding source of competitive strength. But before that, I would like to place on record my sincere gratitude to you, our valued shareholders, for having given me this privilege over these years. It has been a momentous journey in shaping one of India's most admired corporations. Your unstinted support has made this voyage deeply fulfilling. Some of you may recall the turbulent times that engulfed your company around the time you placed me at the helm. Indeed, those were trying circumstances and a far cry from the ITC you are familiar with today. The company was confronted with formidable challenges that threatened the very foundation of future progress. Its earlier diversification forays had either faltered or failed. A battle for control of the company had ensued amidst a public smear campaign. Doubts were raised even about the very integrity of the organization. A media trial on the encouragement of the then representatives of our overseas shareholder had already pronounced the Indian management inept, fraudulent, and guilty ahead of any independent investigation. The momentum of sentiment seemed to encourage the enforcement authorities to use the powers vested under the draconian FERA law to incarcerate 14 members of the then current and past management, including 2 past chairmen of the company, even before any substantial investigation had progressed. A retrospective excise demand of 803 crores on the very first day of my assuming charge as chairman and CEO, amounting to 3 times the annual profits then, imperiled your company's financial stability. The shareholders and members of the board stood divided on the future direction of the company. Amidst all this adversity, the challenge was to steady the ship and articulate a superordinate vision for the company, re-emphasizing commitment to abiding values and revitalize its human resource around a common purpose. There was an urgent need to restructure and reposition the company for extreme competitiveness in an increasingly globalizing Indian market. It was at such a juncture that we resolved to build an exemplary Indian enterprise that would create enduring value for our economy. An organization that would adopt the credo of putting India first, keeping country before corporation and the institution before the individual. The journey since then has been purposeful, though at times arduous, testing our very grit and determination. A multi-pronged strategy was put into play to transform ITC into an engine of growth that will make a substantial contribution to the Indian economy whilst rewarding shareholders by creating growing value for the Indian society. The portfolio of businesses was rationalized by exiting from those that were not well positioned to create long-term value. Leveraging internal competencies that best matched the opportunities of an emerging economy, a fresh portfolio of businesses was arrived at, creating multiple drivers of growth. Over the years, the patriotic sense of India first has grown into a full-blown aspiration to be a national champion, subserving the country's larger priorities. This is not only manifest in the creation of world-class Indian brands, but also in the triple bottom line goals of the company to nurture larger societal value. The need to sustain global competitiveness in economic value creation while simultaneously creating larger societal value has led to innovation in business models that seek to synergize the building of economic, ecological, and social capital as a unified strategy. India is home to 1/3 of the world's poor. Nearly 300 million people need critical support to move out of endemic poverty. With close to 12 million youths joining the workforce every year, there is a crying need to create opportunities for gainful employment. These challenges will get further compounded as India becomes the most populous country in the world by 2030. More than 1.5 billion people will need food, nutrition, water, energy, education, and health security. Already, environmental resources are under huge stress, given the fact that with 17% of the world's population, India has only 2.4% of world's land, 4% of global water, and 1% of forest resources. The need to create sustainable livelihoods and replenish our environmental resources has never been more urgent. Undoubtedly, high growth rates are necessary to address these challenges, but that by itself may not be sufficient to ensure social equity or environmental replenishment. A new paradigm of growth is therefore called for, an integrated triple bottom line approach that builds competitiveness whilst at the same time ensuring that the environment is nourished and large-scale sustainable livelihoods are created. I call this new paradigm responsible competitiveness, which to my mind is a prerequisite to creating a more sustainable future. Your country's avowed aspiration to be an engine of growth for the national economy has made impressive progress over the years, creating multidimensional value for the Indian society. The strategy to pursue multiple drivers of growth has led to a remarkable 17-fold growth in your company's non-cigarettes businesses since 1996, registering a net segment revenue of 23,000 crores. Compared to the size of ITC in 1996, the non-cigarettes businesses alone represent a size akin to creating 5 ITCs of that time. Your company today ranks amongst the top 3 in the private sector in terms of contribution to the exchequer. In financial year 15-16 alone, your company's contribution stood at 30,750 crores. Many would be unaware that in the year gone by, as much as 81% of the company's value addition accrued to the exchequer at the central and state levels, including the share of dividend and retained earnings attributable to government-owned institutions. Over the years, the ITC Group has also emerged as a large exporter of goods and services. Foreign exchange earnings of the ITC Group in the last 10 years aggregate nearly $6.8 billion. Of this, agri-exports constitute 57%, thereby creating value for the rural economy by effectively linking the small farmer to international markets. Your company has today emerged as India's leading FMCG marketeer, a globally acclaimed icon in green hoteliering, a market leader in the Indian paperboard and packaging industry, a pioneering trailblazer in farmer and rural empowerment through its agri-businesses, and a player of promise in the field of information technology. ITC's paperboards business has sustained leadership in its segment, as well as in environmental stewardship, and grown from a capacity of around 1 lakh tons in 1996 to around 7 lakh tons today. The packaging business has fortified its position in both cartons and flexibles, winning global acclaim for packaging excellence. The next segment, revenue of paperboards, paper and packaging, has grown nearly tenfold to over 5,000 crores in this period, in the face of intense international competition. The hospitality business of your company, which operated 12 hotels in 1996, has grown to over 100 properties today, comprising 4 brands, namely ITC Hotels, Welcome Hotels, Fortune, and Welcome Heritage. Its signature luxury properties have won international acclaim. The iconic ITC Grand Bharat was ranked 4th in the world and number 1 in Asia by Condé Nast. The luxury chain comprising the brand ITC Hotels has earned global distinction for pioneering a new ethos of responsible luxury. The contribution of your company's hotels business to Indian tourism landscape has multiplied manifold over these years. The new FMCG businesses, nurtured over the last decade or so, have crafted a vibrant portfolio of around 25 mother brands that are increasingly gaining market standing. These brands have recorded a consumer spend of more than 12,000 crores. In comparison to 25 factories that serviced your company's operations in 1996, ITC's businesses are today served by over 200 factories spread across the country, reflecting a symphony of local, regional, and national scales. Over the years, there has been a transformation in the scale and complexity of your company's distribution and logistics infrastructure. From fewer than 100 SKUs in 1996, the distribution highway today handles over 1,500 SKUs of multiple businesses, directly servicing over 2 million retail outlets across trade channels in 100,000 markets. This transformational growth in the range, scale of businesses has led to a tenfold increase in the company's revenue to over 51,000 crores since 1996, whilst profit before tax grew 33 times to over 14,900 crores. In the last 2 decades, market capitalization has grown over 50-fold to touch an all-time high of 3 lakh crores recently. Total shareholder returns during this period clocked a compound annual growth of 24%. It is deeply satisfying that your company has built an impressive presence across all the 3 sectors of the economy, namely agriculture, manufacturing, and services. This has created a repertoire of diverse skills, the harnessing of which in a synergistic manner has provided many a unique source of competitive advantage to your company. What gives me a sense of fulfillment, however, is your company's global leadership in sustainability performance. Your company's large-scale program in societal value creation has been focusing on creating sustainable livelihoods, empowering local communities, conserving and replenishing the environment, thereby helping to address the challenges of climate change. Tomorrow's world will belong to those who create, own, and nurture intellectual capital. Such ownership of intellectual property, manifest in brands, provides a superior basis for sustaining competitive advantage over the long run. World-class brands lend a huge intangible value to products and services, enabling them to command a premium and loyalty from consumers. When a country's institutions build world-class brands, they enrich its economy. Successful brands are not only a perpetual source of value creation, but also a badge of honor for the country of their origin. The mission to create world-class brands in India must therefore assume the fervor of a national movement. Such world-class Indian brands will help create, capture, and retain larger value for the economy. Creation of new generation of world-class brands demands tremendous staying power, with substantial investment commitment over the long haul. It requires deep consumer insight, continuous application of cutting-edge research and development, differentiated product development capacity, state-of-the-art manufacturing, and an extensive trade marketing and distribution network. Above all, it demands a determination to succeed against all odds. I'm happy to be able to state that in a short period of a decade or so, your company has been able to build many successful brands that are fast gaining strength. Consumer spend in the new FMCG brands today is almost twice the size of ITC in 1996. The 25 newly created mother brands of your company, spanning a wide range of goods, are expected to continuously expand consumer franchise. Your company aspires to be the #1 player in the new fast-moving consumer goods businesses and has set a revenue target of 1 lakh crores by 2030. What may be uppermost in your mind is the question as to how ITC will achieve this audacious goal. Undoubtedly, such an aspiration in an intensely competitive market calls for an orchestra of effort that demands significantly superior enterprise strengths. It is therefore very reassuring that your company has, over the years, built an impressive array of competitive strengths, while several others are in various stages of formation. Over the years, your company's deep association with the farm sector through ITC eChopal has built a formidable capacity for production and procurement of demand-led, identity-preserved, superior quality agri-commodities. Coupled with the agri-business's extensive knowledge of farming and crops, this age-old engagement provides a unique source of competitive advantage to your company's foods businesses. Recognizing the critical role of breakthrough innovation in shaping game-changing products of the future, your company has invested substantially in creating intellectual capital through a globally benchmarked ITC Life Sciences and Technology Center in Bengaluru. This center, along with other facilities spread over 4 lakh square feet, is driving science-led product innovation with a world-class team of 350 highly qualified scientists. In a short span of time, over 480 patent applications have been filed. The intellectual property so created will strengthen leadership of your company's brands and enrich our country's intellectual capital. The culinary expertise of a galaxy of world-class chefs of your company's hotels business lends an invaluable strength to ITC's foods business. Your company is investing substantially in physical infrastructure assets close to markets to reduce wastage from multiple handling and transportation by co-locating manufacturing and distribution facilities. Around 20 such modern integrated consumer goods manufacturing and logistics facilities are under development. This will substantially enhance supply chain efficiency at much lower cost. In addition to the enterprise strengths I have touched upon, lies the traditional marketing prowess of ITC that encompasses deep consumer insight, superior branding skills, packaging excellence, and an extensive trade marketing and distribution capacity. This synergy of institutional strengths drawn from different parts of your company's businesses provides unique sources of competitive advantage. I'm confident that the collective energies that reside in these new opportunities, as well as in the potential arising from your company's traditional, new and developing enterprise strengths, will impart strong growth drivers to achieve the 1 lakh crores new fast-moving consumer goods goal by 2030. I must confess that a deep sense of patriotism has driven me to traverse many an untrodden path in leading ITC's aspiration to be such a national champion. From the transformation that I have outlined before you today, I draw comfort that collectively we have made remarkable progress. The best, though, is yet to come, and it is my hope that our dream in its fullness would be realized sooner than later. Before I conclude, I would like to place on record my deepest appreciation of the tireless effort of all my colleagues, past and present, who have traveled with me this journey, lending their shoulder to build this great institution. I draw solace that with such a world-class team of professionals at ITC, at all levels, our shared aspiration is surely within reach. I would also like to thank the members of the Corporate Management Committee for their contribution and unwavering support over the years. I also extend my sincere gratitude to the members of the board for the richness of their counsel, encouragement, due diligence in supervision, and commitment to the vision and values of ITC. And finally, a special word of thanks to all of you, our valued shareholders, for your unstinted support and encouragement. I know Team ITC can continue to look to you for your goodwill in the years ahead. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Let's put India first.
Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/etnow and don't forget to click the like button. You can also follow us on Twitter at etnowlive. To stay updated with all our programming, hit the subscribe button on our YouTube channel by logging on to youtube.com/user/etnow.